Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. As you can tell from down there, advice video on how to care for your tattoos after you get them. Now, as I mentioned in the tattoo video before my last one, the first time advice type video, your tattoo artist does have the job of tattooing you in the studio, and then your half of the job is to go home and look after that tattoo so it doesn't get infected and it heals really well and really nicely. So this video we're just going to cover what you should do the day that you get tattooed, what you should do for a few days afterwards, and then the healing regime changes a little bit for the rest of the period, so I'll then go over that, and then just some general pointers and advice really. Now, by no means am I a professional tattoo artist. This advice is just a compilation of what a couple of artists that I've been tattooed by have told me, what I've researched and what I found for myself online, and then what I found myself through personal experience and what I found has worked for me. Now, also, people heal differently, so if this regime doesn't work for you a little bit, then adapt it to your needs. But I have personally found this regime works pretty well, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. Now, contrary to what I just said, I'm going to go over the honourable mentions first, because they're kind of like a bit of a synopsis for the whole video really. Now, when your body is healing from a tattoo, it kind of reacts to a tattoo like it does a sunburn. So, feeling warm to the touch, flaking, irritation, tenderness is all perfectly normal because your skin is just rebuilding itself after, obviously layers of skin have been breached and penetrated, so it needs to heal itself. Now, secondly, and something that is definitely worth mentioning, is scabbing of the tattoo area is perfectly normal, especially if you bled during your appointment. Just do not pick at it because you can draw out the ink. Now, when I was a little tattoo baby, I did do this by accident. I got my foot tattooed with the Amanda Manson heart from Eat Me Drink Me, and there was a scab on it. I picked it and some of the ink came out and I had to get it touched up after it healed, like straight away. Tip number 3, generally, avoid submerging your tattoo in water for 2 to 3 weeks afterwards. So avoid taking a bath, obviously be hygienic, take a shower or something, but avoid taking baths, and you just avoid submerging your tattoo in bodies of water for long periods of time, just because this can make the tattoo fade quicker than it would normally. Contact with stuff like water, especially hot water, isn't going to make your tattoo feel all that great at all. Now, this last honourable mention is one that's kind of common sense, but it's easy to forget about and miss. Even though you're excited about it and you're excited to show this tattoo off, because it is new and exciting and hopefully great, try to avoid physical contact with it as much as possible from you and others, because this area of your body, let's say this for example, this area of your body is still an open wound, so people's unwashed hands, I'm not going to get too graphic because it freaks me out, but people's unwashed hands, your open wound, it's a bad mix. Now we move on to the day of your tattoo appointment. Don't either plan to or unintentionally, if you can, do too much afterwards. This isn't so much for your tattoo's sake, because I'll get onto that later, but this is more for your sake really, because after a tattoo it is completely normal to feel a bit tired and a bit lethargic, so you don't really want to be exhausting yourself because your body has just been through quite a bit through getting tattooed. So you're obviously going to feel tired. Don't overwork yourself, it's not worth it, you'll just feel like crap. I've done it, I've had friends and do it, so you'll feel like crap if you do it. Now, when you get tattooed, they will leave a kind of protecting wrapping on, whether that's cling film or saran wrap or a bandage, whatever they leave on it to protect it. Keep that on for about 2 to 4 hours, which goes back to the point of this being an open wound. This protective wrapping will prevent any bacteria from getting to it, any nastiness from getting directly to your fresh tattoo. When you take the protective wrapping off, just give it a quick wash with a bit of water and a bit of soap. And then that night, just be careful sleeping on your tattoo. If you sleep with pets in the same bed as you, wash your bed sheets and all that before you get your tattoo done, because that's not good for your tattoo. For the first 3 to 5 days that your tattoo is new and fresh, there are three main things you need to think about. The first one being that you just continue to wash it with preferably like a fragrance free, and if you can, antibacterial soap, because this is just going to keep the area clean. And you want to do that about 2 to 3 times a day. And then also, if you feel like you have to, like for example, you've been in work, like I mentioned in that previous video, I work in the kitchen as a catering assistant. So when I've got a fresh tattoo, if I've just been in work, I feel when I come home like I should wash it, because I come into contact with a lot of grease, oil. Sometimes I can't help but come into contact with chemicals. So I wash it when I get home, just because it's the best option. And then you want to follow that up with some kind of cream, something preferably used for like nappy rash on babies or diaper rash. Something like I use the Panthen Plus. It's a bit junky because I've used it, but I use the Panthen Plus. I got that one in Prague, with added antiseptic. You don't have to use the added antiseptic. It's the only thing I could find. But just apply that to the area after you wash it every time, and that will just keep your tattoo soft. And yeah, it's meant to dry out a little bit because it's healing, but you are meant to keep it soft as well. And then again, just continue being careful with water contact. Now for the rest of the healing period, regardless how long that may be, obviously everyone's body's different again. Could be a week, could be a couple of weeks, could be a little bit longer. I know when I had a big session done on this recently, and it took about 2.5 weeks to go down, 2.5-3 weeks. So if you get more done, obviously it's going to take longer to heal. Just continue to wash it with the soap that you've been using, and then you want to keep on applying your cream. However, now this is a tip that I got recently from my tattoo artist. Rather than use that for the entire healing period, after about 4 or 5 days, I switched to cocoa butter. I'm just using the Palmer's cocoa butter formula, and that is great, absolutely great for tattoos. If you get any like colour, like bright colour like here, or like block black or block colour in general, it's really great at locking that in, and it's really great at keeping your tattoo so soft and so moisturised. And added bonus, it smells amazing, absolutely amazing. And that's all my tips I have for healing tattoos. That's a general guideline. If you follow that pretty well, then you're on the path to healing your tattoo well. So I hope this was helpful to anyone who's planning to get a tattoo and is looking for healing advice. However, again, I am not a pro, so as I said, my method has worked well for me for about 5 years, except recently with the cocoa butter, that's new. But that general method with me has worked me well for about 5 years. So again, that's why I'm sharing it with you guys. However, if you go to a tattoo artist, as well as doing your own research, like you clearly are now, if you go to your own tattoo artist and he gives you adaptations of this, or he gives you a different healing regime, take that into account, because he's a professional, he's trained in that area. I'm not, I'm just someone that's been tattooed quite frequently and someone that has experience, and that's where this is coming from. So thank you for watching. If you liked this video, leave me a like below. If you think I'm a freak, like the video anyway, and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. And until the next video, I'll see you guys later. Mwah.